Last night's crazy, chaotic finish to the Magic at Lakers game I watched was exactly what's wrong with this year's Lakers, exactly what's always been wrong with Luka, and what's always been wrong with LeBron James. Let me count the ways. Let me dissect. Let me start with 44 seconds left against a Magic team without its star. No Franz Wagner, out with an ankle injury indefinitely. He was the reason that last year when the Magic visited the Lakers, they won by a point because he just took the game over and went all-star on LeBron. This is pre-Luka. Scored 37, just took the game over late. That was last year. Now, no Franz this year. Orlando came in 30 and 26. Not bad. Banchero's been playing at a high level. But still, you should win this game against that team in your house. 44 seconds left. LeBron's at the free throw line. You know what happened. He made the first. Now he can put you up 3 with 44 seconds left. And he shot the second a little shaky-handed. It was a little short and a little left off the front of the rim. And it remains a 2-point game. And then what does LeBron, highest IQ in basketball, do? Don't ask me because I don't get it. I know what the concept is that he was going to sag off and help against Banchero driving the basketball into the middle of the lane. And he sagged, and he left his man, Desmond Bane, wide open at the three-point line, unguarded. And Banchero immediately kicked it to Desmond Bane, who's always been a dead-eye clutch shooter, especially from three. And what did Desmond Bane do, as he used to do against everybody, including the Lakers when he was in Memphis? Desmond Bane ripped it as cleanly as you can rip it from three. And all of a sudden, wait a second, the Magic are up one with 34 seconds left. Magic up one. Then here come the Lakers. Luka kicks it to the corner to Rui, who's open from three, and he's usually pretty to very clutch. And he airballs it wide left. It was such a bad miss that first Austin Reaves and then Luka got their hands on the ball loose in the middle of the lane. And eventually it was off Magic, out of bounds. So it allowed the Lakers to inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Luka took the ball out, and LeBron, to his credit, got a running start. This is what he still does at the highest level, literally highest. Got a running start from beyond the three-point line, straight down the lane, and broke wide open off Ayton, wide open. And Luka just flipped it to him in bounds, and he had an easy dunk. And all of a sudden, wait a second, the Lakers are back up a point. Okay. So now we go down to the other end, and Banchero takes the game into his hands. He'd been hot, especially from mid-range jumpers, had made 10. And he drives it into the lane near the free throw line, shoots a sort of fadeaway jumper that misses. And I'm not sure who was supposed to screen off Anthony Black. I'm just not sure, or if he just made a really good hustle play to get position in the lane. Not good enough position to control the basketball, and the Magic got a huge break. Somehow, Anthony Black was first to get his hand on the miss and kind of accidentally rerouted the basketball back under the basket to Wendell Carter Jr. Look what I found. Easy put back. Wait a second. Now the Magic are up a point. 6 seconds left. And timeout Lakers. Now they're out of timeouts. And they run a nice play. It was interesting. It was clever. Way to go, JJ. Where everybody starts backcourt and crosses the line into front court on the move so that you don't just set up your offensive set in the half court where they can pick you out and decide how to play you. It confused the Magic momentarily, and all of a sudden, Luka comes completely free off an Ayton screen as the play was designed to be run. Completely free, just cut off the top of him, left Banchero, and LeBron easily inbounded to Luka, who is wide open, but it's deep. It's deep. It's a good 3 feet beyond the three-point line. But he has a moment of wide openness and a split second of, I think I'm going to shoot this, and then, no, I'm not. And he takes a dribble in, and you know and I know why he took one dribble in to get a little closer. Because he was 2 of 10 from 3. What do we know about Luka? What do I always tell you about Luka? He's a long-term historical liability from 3 because he shoots way too many at way too below average a make rate, way too below average. So what is he for his career? He's a career 35% three-point shooter. What is he shooting from 3 as we speak? 35%. That ranks 80th in the NBA. 80th, 35% from 3. Yet, as we speak, Luka, and once again, he had took his average last night, he's averaging 10.3 attempts from 3. That's second most in the entire NBA to Steph Curry. 10.3 attempts per game, making 35% equals extremely low efficiency. It equals lots and lots of empty, frustrating trips for the Los Angeles Lakers. He takes way too many threes because he loves to make them occasionally. And when he gets hot, as he did last week against the Clippers, when he made 8 of 14, it looks great. It's highly entertaining. It's the Luka package. It's box office for the Lakers. He's leading the league in scoring because he takes so many shots and so many threes. Threes count 3 instead of 2. And if you take 10 a game and you make 3 or 4 a game, it helps you lead the league in scoring. Think about that. That's solo, not team. That's solo selfishness, not team unity. It's hard to overcome that and win basketball games. 35% from 3 is Luka Doncic. 8 of 14 against the Clippers when he was so hot. He's just cooking. Remember what happened against Chris Dunn late in the game? Chris Dunn was just playing his ass off, just playing Luka straight up as hard as he could go, no talk. Luka starts pointing at him and talking to him because he did a nice job in the second half on Luka, and Luka got free and he made a couple late threes, 8 of 14. But that was after Kawhi was taken out of the game or took himself. I don't know what happened. It was pretty fishy to me. And that was after Mathurin had fouled out, and that was, of course, with no Darius Garland, who's out right now. So Luka can really front run, show off, showboat, trash talk. Last night, no trash talk from Luka because he was 2 of 10 from 3. 2 of 10, that's 20% from 3 while attempting your average. But he should have had 11 attempts from 3 because he had a wide open one to win the game. Of course, they're only down one, and the hesitation came with, wait, should I shoot this from 3 feet beyond the three-point line? I hadn't thought that wasn't my goal to shoot it from here. That wasn't the idea of the play, was for me to shoot it from here. Nope, that's not what it was. It was for him to catch and drive, hopefully get fouled, and make at least one of 2 free throws to force overtime, both free throws, and you win the game. Luka, poor superstar free throw shooter. By superstar standards, poor free throw shooter. So he's got the LeBron disease. So what had happened with 44 seconds left, LeBron had missed the second free throw. Okay, what is one of LeBron's great failings in his career? He's a horrible late game, close game free throw shooter. Since he came into the league, by far the most misses late game, close game, free throw line, LeBron James, not even close. And Luka is a little better in the clutch, but in general, by superstar standards, he's a sub 80% free throw shooter. Even Jordan was not a great free throw shooter, but he was 84% for his career. Obviously, Magic, Bird, 89%. LeBron, 74%. He's a lousy free throw shooter, and Luka isn't much better. Would I trust Luka to make both? A little more than I would LeBron? But the obvious concept of this play is for him to catch and drive and maybe make it, maybe get to the free throw line. That's the idea. But at 2 of 10, he's going to hesitate from 27 feet to win the game, because you only need 1 point to tie. So it wasn't a 3-point shot concept play in design. And Luka hesitated, and then he took a dribble to get closer, and then they were all over him, and he was stuck. What had fooled the Magic, confused the Magic, the play design, suddenly backfired, and Luka got fooled because he was so wide open on the catch, and then he took a dribble and realized, wait a second, I'm screwed. They caught up. I got 2 on me, and LeBron, help me. And LeBron, the last thing in the world LeBron wanted was the basketball at this point. He just, that's not his forte. Greatest scorer in the history of the game, but lousy free throw shooter, not much of a mid-range jump shooter, frankly, and a really lousy 3-point shooter. So the last thing LeBron wants is, wait, you want me to shoot a 3-point shot? So LeBron, high IQ, catches it and turns the catch and shoot into an impossible, exaggerated fall away in which he falls completely out of bounds as he turns to shoot, because he wants to exaggerate the difficulty of the shot to the point that nobody in the media or nobody in Laker Nation, fan-wise, can fault him for missing the shot that he knew he was going to miss before he shot it. We all knew he was going to miss it before he shot it. Didn't want to shoot it. Last thing in the world wanted to shoot it. But he shot it falling away with a ridiculously high arc shot that LeBricked, almost broke the backboard, hit backboard first and hit long and grazed the far side of the rim on the carom off the backboard. No chance. Game over. Lakers blow game at home to Magic without Franz Wagner. What? What just happened? So LeBron put it all on Luka, and I was cool with that because that was on Luka. He said something about, well, maybe he lost his balance for a second. No, LeBron knew exactly what happened. He was 2 of 10 and he didn't want to shoot it. For a split second, he thought, I need one dribble to get a little closer. This is too far. And all of a sudden the ball winds up in LeBron's hands. So he's like, don't blame me. I I just did what I had to do. Jimmy Black on him, but LeBron could have gone up stronger. He could have just caught it and wheeled right in. Maybe he could have drawn the foul, but that would be LeBron's worst nightmare. My God, this would be the all-time worst nightmare, is to go to the free throw. Well, there'd be one scenario worse, but to go to the free throw line with 3 free throws to make 1 to tie and 2 to win, it would be the all-time choke job. It would be degradation. It would be humiliation. It would be the worst spot, except if the game had been tied and LeBron had 3 to make 1 to win. That would be his worst nightmare. I don't know. Surely he could make 1 of 3. But in this case, there's no way he wants to get fouled. He wants to get as far away from Jimmy Black as he can get. And so he caught it moving slightly away from the basket and just exaggerated his fall away, out of bounds, falling into the first row to make sure that nobody would blame him for missing a shot he knew he was going to miss. So my biggest takeaway from what happened late in the game is there's a kid named Austin Reaves who plays alongside Luka and LeBron as the third wheel, who's just better than they are in these situations. The clutchest player on the Lakers is Austin Reaves. The man I would want to have the ball in his hands at all of these late game situations, or the man I would even trust the most on defensive assignment, would be Austin Reaves, who down the stretch of the last 44 seconds I have described for you was nowhere to be found, except he did dig out that offensive rebound off the Rui airball miss. He was the first to knife in and to scratch and claw and get hands on ball and to keep it alive. Then Luka got hands on ball and kept it alive, and it forced Clippers to scratch and claw for the basketball and knock it out of bounds and set up the easy LeBron dunk that gave the Lakers the 1-point lead. That was an Austin Reaves special. That's what he can do. But in this case, you would want J.J. Redick to call the play, call the shot for Austin Reaves. Why not? It's coming to that. We saw what Austin Reaves could do without Luka and LeBron for that stretch early this season. He was an all-star. He was just, as J.J. Record said, he was a bad MF. He said the league knows he's a bad MF. And they do. But he's the third wheel because he's playing alongside 2 great players, obviously, great scorers of the basketball, who aren't great all-around basketball players in so many little big ways. At some point, if the Lakers are going to go anywhere this season, especially in the postseason, Austin Reaves has to have the ball in his hands in those situations. And J.J. Redick, I felt for him after the game because I've never heard him hem and haw the way he did trying to explain what happened and didn't happen. Well, I need to look at it. I haven't been able to talk to Luka about it. And in the end, to Luka's credit, he hem and hawed, but he did say, it's on me. He said I shouldn't have picked up the basketball. I should have attacked. And he should have. He still had time. Even after he turned down the 3, if he just kept his dribble and just kept moving forward, you're back on schedule, back in business. You still have sort of 4, 3, 2 seconds to get a shot up, maybe to get fouled. But he hesitated, and they lost. And yet he did say quietly, quickly at the very end of his answer, that's on me. He's very proud. LeBron is even prouder. they're not a good fit together. They're weirdly the same guy in slightly different attack modes. Luka can't quite attack the way LeBron can, but he's crafty great in the lane. He doesn't do it so much with physicality, though he plays physically at 6'7" as he continues to gain his weight back, and he has gained most of his weight back. He's got his double chin going. I don't know. In the end, can you really win with Luka Doncic? I don't think so. I know he got the Dallas Mavericks to the finals, and then go look at his three-point shooting in the finals. He went from hot to cold, and they had no chance in the finals against the Celtics. Zero chance. Kyrie was cold also. That didn't help. But my point to you is that how do you win with Luka Doncic? I know Dallas dearly misses Luka Doncic, but he's just entertainment. He's box office. I just don't know if you can win with a player like Luka. He will pass the basketball. He had, I think it was a season high 15 assists. So he did do that. And in stretches, the Lakers played hard. They scratched and clawed. But in the end, the fatal flaws of LeBron first and then Luka became glaringly obvious to anyone who's watching and has the guts to say what actually happened. It was hard to watch, but it was amazing to watch because flaws were exposed there, and there. At this stage and age, LeBron roams on defense. He tries to make hero plays on defense. Maybe he was trying to get a blindside sort of semi-chase down block of Banchero's. He drove the lane and left Desmond Bane wide open for a three-point shot that kept the Magic afloat. What a night it was. And once again, I ask, in closing, where was Austin Reaves?